Hey guys, welcome to Hashtag Behind Relationship Goals. I'm Bones, and that is Fofo.
And that's Soba.
Hiding. Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary to us. Today is Jan 10?
Jan 10.
Today is the actual anniversary, our first wedding anniversary ever.
And actually, we have a lot of anniversaries. We have the day that we met, we have the day that we got together as boyfriend and girlfriend, our first wedding anniversary, and our second wedding anniversary. So, ano ba talaga ang anniversary natin?
Oh, well, why don't we break it down for everybody? Jan 6 is my birthday and the anniversary of when we got together as Joables.
Joable.
Jan 10 was our wedding anniversary, our church wedding, and Jan 25 will be the anniversary of wedding celebration.
Dami. Also, meron pa.
Okay, you know what? Here in the podcast, we are going to decide in front of all the viewers what is our one single anniversary date. We can't have three. It has to be just one. This is crazy.
Jan 10.
Jan 10.
Jan 10.
So all the podcast viewers out there, you heard it from ourselves. Jan 10 is our official anniversary date moving forward.
Parang may iba naman sa birthday mo.
So
diba?
Jan 6 is just my birthday.
Just your birthday.
So there's no more anniversary on Jan 6.
Wala na.
Okay.
I was kind of sad kasi syempre, we've been together for 10 years and that's the anniversary that we always had in mind.
Yeah, it's the anniversary that we've been celebrating for the past 10 years when we remember.
So, I mean, okay lang. Sige, Jan 10 na. Okay na ako dun.
See?
And it sounds cool because it's 1-10-20. That's our anniversary date. 0-1-10-20.
I don't find it that cool.
What? It sounds like those parang like number things. 0-1-1-0.
No, it would have been cool if it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Matrix
6.
kasi.
Nah, I don't agree. I don't agree. It's just aight.
Okay lang yan. Pero ito, dahil anniversary natin, there's one thing that I want to start with, and that's a loaded question.
Okay, game.
We always have the loaded question at the end, but here it is. We're going to start at the beginning. Did you ever think that you were going to marry me when we first started dating?
I was a very different person when we first started dating. I think I was more of a romantic. I was 23 years old.
Were you? Yeah, you were a romantic.
I was a romantic and I was more of an idealist. I thought that, I wanted to have kids at this age and I wanted to have this many kids. You remember? And we've mentioned this in the podcast. I wanted to get married before I was 30 because my parents got married so early.
You wanted to get married at like 24, 25.
Yeah, and then I wanted to have kids soon after. I had like 4 or 5 kids. I put a number and a date to everything. But you know what? I don't remember ever thinking about, hey, I think I'm going to marry you. Although I'm sure I thought about that.
Okay.
So yes. It's just that I can't seem to think of a particular idea or picture in my head of the time that I really thought, I think I'm going to marry this chick.
Was this chick?
Sorry, that's how I thought before.
This chicken. Okay, so you didn't think that, you don't remember if you thought about that, but was the first time that you thought about that when you proposed to me?
Oh my god, that's such a good question. Like, how did I get to that point of asking you? No, like I told you, it was just a feeling. So it was very spur of the moment. It wasn't a well thought out plan.
Okay, you just felt, I want to marry her.
Yeah, it wasn't premeditated there. That's the word I was looking for. So getting married to you was not premeditated. It was more of a feeling. It's just that I knew that you and I had this really good bond and really good relationship. And when that spur of the moment thought of proposing to you came to me, I was like, okay, it feels right. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Magpakasal na tayo. Okay, ako naman. Did I ever see you as husband material? I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but there was this one time that I bumped into you after meeting you. And I don't think you saw me. But I remember I was passing by you, and this was in Ateneo. Bonfire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I passed by you. I was like, I know this guy. I don't know if I'm going to say hi. And then all of a sudden, I thought, I wonder if he's going to be my boyfriend. I just thought about that.
So do you usually not do that?
I don't know. Like, I guess it wasn't something that would cross my mind at that time, especially since I had just come from a breakup. But for some reason, I was thinking about that already. Like, these were questions that popped into my mind. So I thought, I wonder if he's going to be my boyfriend. And then when we started dating, I was like, okay, I wonder if I'm actually going to marry this dude. That would be so funny.
Okay, were there any like deeper thoughts about marriage?
Ooh, I think when we were already together as boyfriend and girlfriend, I had thought about, okay, what level of commitment do we have already? Is this something where we'll grow old together, that we're gonna have kids together? I couldn't necessarily see myself yet, but I had a good feeling about it. So I didn't know like what the future would bring or paano nga ba maging asawa. Hindi ko kasi alam eh. Like it was very blurry to me, but I just had a good feeling about being with you long term.
Okay, two things. I have two questions that popped into my head just now. The first one is, did you ever imagine me as a husband? Like would I be? Or as a father, how would I be?
Ooh, yes, I did.
Okay, so what was that?
It's kind of funny because during the time that we started dating, my dad already left, diba? So I didn't really have that kind of father figure. Although I don't see you as a father figure. Syempre, you're like a man in my life, diba? So there wasn't anybody that I could really learn from in terms of like the manly stuff. So like I thought it was pretty cool that you were able to teach me and my siblings things that we didn't think that we could learn from our own dad. When I put that into perspective and the way that you would teach the people around you certain things, I started to realize now, oh, I wonder how he would be with our kids when they want to learn new stuff in the future. So yeah, I just thought of things like that, taken from experience.
Anything else?
I knew that you were going to be a makulit dad when we had Soba. When Soba came into our lives. Like your level of lambing rose even more. And your level of
Just to show that Salba is here, I'm holding up her ear.
yeah, like just a couple of minutes ago, Mikael was holding Soba in his arms. And then it was like he was sleeping with her. And at that moment, just now, I was like, paano pa kaya pag may hawak na siyang baby natin? Ano kaya ang mararamdaman ni Fofo? At wala lang, parang naisip ko lang yung lambing factor mo, tataas ng tataas lalo.
When I would think about you and being a wifey or a mudra,
Mudra Kelsey, Bonizi.
at first I would think about your indecision. Your indecisiveness, and I would be like, oh my god, like, is she gonna be indecisive in front of our child? Like, if she has to pick like where the child is gonna eat, what fast food restaurant is she gonna be indecisive? So I would think about those things, and then when it comes to the bigger things, like what school to go to, would we allow our child to go to a party or not go to a party, take basketball class or not, taekwondo or not, or whatever. So I would think about that at first, but over time, as we've gotten to work together more and more, especially now during 2020, the past year, I've grown more confident. Bonizi is growing out of her indecisiveness.
I'm in the process.
In the process, we're waiting for the end product. But I mean, it's always a continuous thing. So
yeah,
I don't know if there's an end product. Even for me, all of my flaws and failures, I'm always just trying to work on it. I don't think there's an end game.
Honestly, the important thing is that we're working on it. And
Yeah.
we're not just like letting ourselves sit in our old lives and our old like bad habits.
So my last follow-up question to the loaded question is, how do you feel about relationships or couples, especially when you have friends, wherein they talk about marriage before getting married? So there are two parts to this question. When they talk about marriage and parang sobrang aga pa, like tipong first few months of being together pa lang.
Oh,
And then
that
when they,
early.
Yeah, and then when they talk about marriage a bit later on. So how do you feel about that? Do you think it should be done? I know it's a case-to-case basis, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, definitely, it's a case-to-case basis because you have people getting married within 2 weeks of knowing each other.
Yeah.
And they're together for the rest of their lives.
Okay, yeah.
And then you have, on the other hand, people that are together for like, let's say 10 years, like us, they get married and then parang, anyari.
Yeah, and we never really talked about marriage, did we?
We talked about marriage later on in our relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe after like a couple of years of being together. Yeah. And for us, what worked was that we got to enjoy each other as boyfriend and girlfriend. Hindi mo na natin pinapakialam yung isa't isa. Like you did your own thing, I did my own thing. We had like boundaries when it came to that. So we were able to enjoy each other's company while doing our own thing first.
So Bonizi is right. When you're boyfriend and girlfriend, that's one stage of a relationship.
Yeah.
And taking it to being newlyweds or married, that's another stage. I think some people gloss over the boyfriend-girlfriend stage a bit too quickly. Na sayang, pwede namang namnamin. Especially if you
Yeah.
have time. I mean, I understand. If you're like 55 years old and you just want to get married right away,
Go for
okay,
it.
go for it.
Yeah, do you?
But if you're a bit younger, like you're getting into your own thing at work in so many aspects of your life, I mean, it is nice. There is a lot of value and memories to be had just enjoying that jowa level.
Oo, tsaka it was nice because we got to do our own thing. You know, we were there to support each other. We made our own decisions. You weren't holding me back. I wasn't holding you back from anything that you wanted to do. And I think that was important because we didn't let the relationship take over us as individuals.
Yeah, and then the second part that I got from what you said is once you have that marriage conversation coming in, you really cannot escape the pressure. No matter how much you say, ay, hindi nakaka-pressure yan. The mere fact that you mentioned it means that you added something new to your relationship already.
What if one partner was thinking long term and the other one just, was just more relaxed. Parang go with the flow. Like, if we break up, whatever. May mga tao din ganon. And it could add pressure to the relationship as well.
Yeah. So for me, all I'm really saying is that it is still a case-to-case basis, but especially if you're in the younger age range in your relationship,
Pansyahin.
make the most out of that jowa stage. It's super fun.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. Speaking of anniversaries, Fofo and I don't celebrate birthdays or anniversaries or whatnot. And it's just something that isn't really a focus in our relationship because we focus on each other every day of our lives naman.
Yeah, so this is our first wedding anniversary and 10th relationship anniversary. So the question is, how did we spend it?
Well, we celebrated by looking at toilets.
To frame what Bonizi just said, we spoke about this at length in the previous podcast episodes. We are moving. So we want to move to the province, but right now we just have to get out of our current condo unit because the lease is ending very, very soon. So when we would pass by furniture shops or Home Depots or builder shops, we would decide to go inside and check out the furnitures, specifically toilets, because I guess that's what we're looking at nowadays.
We like toilets.
No, we want to be able to fix up our bathroom nicely. We've never had our own bathroom that's been big enough to fit both of us.
No, and I think because of traveling also, being able to live in different apartments from renting, especially my family, puro renters lang kami, we've finally figured out what we want in our home. Like, what kind of fixtures we want, what makes us comfortable. And of course, we're always aiming for comfort naman talaga.
Yeah, but going back to what we actually did during my birthday and our anniversary, we were literally packing. So we ended up in a couple of furniture shops. So we were checking out different pieces and fixtures. But at the same time, we were packing here at home. So all the garbage bags and the balikbayan boxes that you see back here, that is the product of our work during our anniversary.
Yeah, so we were just packing away, and it was the most efficient thing that we could do during that day because konti na lang yung araw natin dito sa condo na to, and we have to make the most out of it.
Yeah, so with that, here's a little update. We are not moving to the province just yet. Simply because the property that we were able to find in the province is not ready for us.
Yeah, medyo luma na rin kasi yung bahay na yon.
So easily maybe like decades ago would be the safer answer.
Yeah, decades ago. So, syempre, the stuff that's inside the house, like the pipes, the water line, everything is kind of a bit worn down already.
A bit? No, wala na. Sirang-sira na yung ibang mga gamit doon.
Yeah, a quick story is we stayed in this house in Subic during the holidays just to test it out and see kung kamusta na ba talaga yung state ng bahay. And while we were there, the sink got clogged, the pipes weren't working, and there was just a lot to fix. And we realized, okay, we can't live here just yet.
So what are the pros and cons of buying this kind of property? From our experience, at least.
I would say that being an old property, of course, you're going to have hiccups along the way, like worn down stuff that's inside the house, probably a design that you and your family might not like or it just doesn't fit your family.
Yeah, to be more specific with Bonizi's point, when it comes to electrical, when it comes to plumbing,
Water.
when it comes to ducting, when it comes to provisions for appliances, they're all around 30 to 40 years old already, which is no good for us.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the biggest challenge and the biggest con when it comes to buying old property, as opposed to buying an empty lot and building your own house from the ground up. You can have everything brand spanking new.
And you can have everything accustomed to what you need.
Okay, so what we have to do right now, our challenge is to be able to pinpoint what are the problems that need to be addressed right away, and what are the problems that can be addressed later on. So that's a huge challenge for us, because this is the first time that we're doing this. This is the first time that we're buying property that we're going to move into.
A house.
A house.
First time to buy a house. Oh my gosh, we have a house.
Okay, but there is a huge pro, which was a huge consideration why we actually bought it, and that is price. And prices in the province are just so much cheaper than prices in Metro Manila. I already had a mini rant about this a couple of podcast episodes ago. For the price that we got in the province and for the size of the lot, we would have gotten a very, very small condo here in the heart of Metro Manila. A studio, you're right.
Yeah, and we got a house for that price in the province.
When it comes to price, if your lifestyle and your work is flexible enough, then I think there's a lot of value to be had by moving outside Metro Manila. Especially now, since I feel 2021 and onwards is going to be like a huge work from home shift for a lot of companies.
And I also have friends that were renting in Metro Manila just so that they could go to their work here in the metro. So what they did was they all moved back to the province, probably with their family, and it saved them so much money as well.
So now what's the plan? So we have to fix up the province. So in the meantime, we have to move out of this condo and move into another condo in Metro Manila. Thankfully, however, me and Bonizi, we do have a condo that has turned over to us.
Yes, recently.
So now we can move into that in the meantime. Because our goal is to eventually rent that out.
We weren't able to have it rented out kasi nga pandemic, so we decided let's just stay there first and slowly fix it up para sa next renter na hopefully magsistay dun sa condo na yon.
And with that, that brings us to this huge mess behind us. We are moving out and we wanted to share this experience with everyone. I've been sharing it already on Instagram, but let's talk about it in more detail here on the podcast, because I realized that this whole process, this is the first time that you and I have really moved out from one location to another.
Together.
The biggest move we've ever really had was one floor up.
Yes, exactly.
So we used to live a couple floors down in a smaller unit, and then we moved up so that we could accommodate more people and eventually our little studio here.
I've experienced moving with my family, but the thing with that was I wasn't hands-on with it. My mom took care of everything, and she was just like, go to work, and then when you go home, we're gonna move to the new place. So I didn't know anything about managing moving a whole house.
Okay, so for those who are planning to move out, for those who have never moved out but think it'll happen later on in their lives, we have a lot of stories and experiences to share, because moving out is crazy.
And it's more difficult than I thought it would be, honest.
The first thing we did was we had to decide when we were going to start to move out, because from prior experience with my mom, when she moved out, it was so stressful because they only gave themselves like 2 or 3 days.
Ay, laki-laki ng bahay nila.
Exactly. So what Bonizi and I did was we said 11 days before the day that we had to move out of this condo, we had to start moving things out already.
Yeah.
So on the very first day, that was the day that we asked all the trucks and all the other workers to help us come in and take out all of the big furniture pieces and big appliances.
It was easier to do that para at least we had more space to move around, and so that all the heavyweight stuff, we could have help in doing that. Hindi lang tayo yung gagawa, no?
So basically, all the pieces in our condo unit that we needed help to move out had to move out on that very first day.
Oh yeah, we had to make sure that nothing was left, because honestly, we didn't have any more help in the next couple of days, diba? Because there were workers, there was trucks, and we needed to be able to only move things that could fit in our own cars later on.
Okay, so now that we just said that, I have 2 more points to share, Bonizi.
Okay.
The first one is about how much it costs to move out.
Ooh, okay.
And the second one is the downsides of living in a condo that we finally realized
Yes.
and experienced.
Okay,
so
it's
first is
costing.
go.
So the things that we spent on for moving are one, the trucks that we needed to use to haul the furniture. Two, we had to pay for workers that could come in and help us with the heavy lifting.
3 would be the balikbayan boxes so that we could put our items in it. And 4 would be the garbage bags and the bubble wrap, which we used to secure and to protect the items that we were transporting.
We tried looking online for services that could come and pack and move our stuff like in the US, but for some reason we could only find services that would pack and store your items for later
Yes,
on.
and at the end of the day, those services in terms of cost would far outweigh
Yeah.
how much we actually spent kung sariling effort yung pwede mong ibigay.
I think the thing that you're paying for there is convenience.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we could always do it ourselves anyways.
Yeah,
because
so we had our time. So for those who have time, you will save a lot if you are willing to put in the effort to pack and move out on your own. So let's break it down a little bit. So for the workers and the trucks, that's a no-brainer. You know why they're there. They're there to help you take out the cabinets and the drawers and the tables. But the bubble wrap and the balikbayan boxes. So balikbayan boxes would be around anywhere from 100 to 180 pesos.
These were the better quality ones.
Yeah. So these were important. You want better quality ones because you don't want na when you lift up the box, biglang bibigay yung ilalim niya. Sobrang bad trip
Meron
nun.
kasi yung mga tagta 20 pesos, but this
Yeah.
one was around like 100 something per box.
Yeah, so we decided to get the sturdier ones only because we wanted to make sure that our things were protected. There's no point in moving kung masisira lahat ng gamit mo during the process. So it's okay to spend just a little bit more for that extra peace of mind. Now, the second find or the second discovery that I had was Bubble Wrap Philippines. Thank you so much to whoever suggested that on Instagram
Kay
because
did.
it was amazing. Okay, so I was able to buy for 600 pesos a humongous, okay, probably like this big, a humongous roll of Big Eye bubble wrap. Bonizi, it's over there. Let's show them. And this was so useful because one roll was enough to cover all of our furniture. And of course, we didn't cover it completely. We only covered the sides and the edges that we felt might get hit
Yeah.
or scraped or dented in the process of moving. So we wanted to protect that, especially the tables that we had restored and revarnished or repainted. Sayang naman yung binayaran namin dun.
So after talking about how much it actually cost us to move all our stuff, the next one would be the pros and cons of living in a condo. Because obviously you don't even realize these things until you actually have to move.
And guys, ang hirap mag-move out sa isang condo simply because for me, the number one reason would be the elevators. I mean, you live with so many other people in a building that you have to be respectful pa rin of the people who live with you. So that meant that moving for 8 hours during that whole day, easily 3 hours of those 8 were used just waiting for the elevator to get to us.
And it was pretty hard because, especially the elevator in our condo now, the one that we're staying in, the service elevator is also used by the tenants here.
Yeah.
It's not just something where you move stuff around or you put furniture in. People use that to like take their dogs down to the ground level. So you had to really wait until nobody was there so that you could actually move your stuff.
Yes, and of course, in condo units, understandably, there are a lot of rules when it comes to the service entrance, the delivery areas. Sometimes the trucks might not be able to fit into the delivery area, so it depends on the sizes. So there are just so many factors which just added to the delays
Yeah.
of moving out and the stresses of moving out. So it's something to consider. Kayang-kaya syempre, pero it was these unforeseen events and things that we weren't able to predict that really added to the energy and cost and time cost of moving out of this condo.
Can I just say that I'm really happy that we have light furniture. Out of
Yeah.
everything that we have, the heaviest was the antique table that we got from your mom because that's real wood.
Yeah.
And the second one would be the bed.
The bed.
The bed, because our bed is 80 by 80.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like, it's bigger than us. So we had like 5 guys bring it, and they were already having such a hard time.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we only had 2 huge pieces. I would talk to the workers who we had working with, and they said na, Sir, madali na yung mga gamit mo. Kasi others would have like huge mirrors.
Oh my God.
Like floor-to-ceiling mirrors. And sobrang nakakatakot daw because not only was it so heavy and so difficult to carry, but sobrang masela na maybe one bump,
Oh, yeah.
feeling nila mababasag na
Yeah.
agad. Or like maybe pianos. Oh my God, can
Oh,
you
a
imagine
piano?
taking up pianos?
You know, I was actually good thing you mentioned it now, because I was thinking in my head the other day, man, I really want like a nice big mirror for our condo, and it would look so nice in pictures. And now that you said na baka hindi magkasya sa elevator, baka hindi magkasya sa pinto, I'm like, how can I get the mirror that I want? Kaya wag na nga lang.
Hindi, kaya naman. There are lighter mirrors. I think the others kasi yung may metal frame, tapos super kapal ng mirror.
Yung mga 100-pound frame. Ganon.
Oo, yung mga ganun. But I've seen some that are very big, pero very lightweight pa
Yeah.
rin naman.
So since this is our first time to actually move places together, we decided to half the work. So Mikael would be assisting the workers going up and down, bringing the stuff, and I would be helping out Sel and Mang packing, so that whenever they come up and get stuff, ready na siya for them. So it was pretty fun because at least we got to pack a lot of things and they didn't have to worry about that. But we did come across a roadblock, especially this morning when we were trying to shoot the podcast super duper early. We were missing a lot of stuff because we didn't know where we packed it. It gets difficult because we want to be able to shoot efficiently and do our work efficiently, but I had miscalculated and I just packed everything thinking na, okay, ipack lang natin para makaalis na tayo.
Yeah, so for me, that was tough to swallow because Bonizi packed our essentials as well.
Yeah.
And that's something that I didn't want to happen sana. And obviously I was not able to communicate that, and Bonizi wasn't able to think about it. But it's alright. So you kind of roll with the punches, which leads us to the next topic, which is during any huge transition, patience is the key. Patience and flexibility. And I posted something on Instagram recently, which I think emphasizes that. Bonizi and I, during this move, things haven't gone completely according to plan. And because of that, on the second day of our move, we had no place to sleep.
Oh yeah, we just brought everything without even thinking where we were gonna stay.
So what we did is that we decided that we were going to sleep on the floor because we still had a blanket that we could put. So latag lang kami on the floor. And it was okay. It was fun.
Yeah, we had so much fun doing it, and I don't think we would have had this experience otherwise. Like, we have another story to tell people.
Yeah. Imbes na gamitin natin as a point na mag-aaway pa tayo, we just used it as an experience, an adventure. And it's a story that we can tell later on to our kids and to our friends and to my family who I will see later. We had a
Nag-camping
spontaneous
tayo!
camping trip in the condo. It was our goodbye camping trip.
Popo, now that I think about it, okay, so we're surrounded by boxes, right? But we also put a bunch of our stuff into trash bags.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like sleeping beside the trash bags.
Yeah, no, we'll share some photos, but it really looked funny because we were sleeping in the middle of balikbayan boxes and garbage bags. Pero malinis naman sila.
So we had fun camping out in our living room, but Mikael also made me realize something during this move.
Yes, so on the second night, we also realized that it's our anniversary. And
Your birthday?
and my birthday. So we decided on the second night of our move, instead of sleeping on the floor, we said, why don't we book a room in a hotel? Let's make it a staycation. Let's make it fun. And Bonizi at first was very hesitant about it. And
But I was just saying, let's just stay at your mom's house. I'm sure she'll be okay with that.
And I told her, yeah, I'm sure that would be fine as well. We could also just sleep on the floor as well. That wasn't going to be a problem with me. But Bonizi and I have always made it a point to save every month, every week, every time we have work. And I told her that this is the flexibility that is given to us because we are able to save.
Yeah.
It's the ability to be able to purchase your convenience at any time. To be able to properly explain it, the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to save. So it really depends on your spending habits. For some people, whenever they come across their money, their salaries, they like spending it right away. And that's okay. You deserve that because you earned it.
Yeah.
Okay, that is your right to spend your money the way that you want to. But that kind of spending style means that when you come across a spontaneous moment where you want to spend or you need to spend, baka wala kang pondo para doon.
Gets.
So, for example, if we didn't save and we didn't feel like sleeping on the floor, we actually would not have any other option because we wouldn't have money to stay anywhere else.
Because we didn't have savings. But since we did have savings, we were able to purchase for our convenience.
Yeah, without being guilty about it.
Yeah.
Kasi sabi, no bones, we save for this. We don't know when we're gonna spend this fund. Pero when the time comes, we'll know that we can spend it.
And it was cool because after a couple of days of moving back and forth, lifting heavy stuff, we got to celebrate our anniversary and your birthday, and we got to relax at the same time.
And guilt-free. Because sometimes some people, when it's out of budget, syempre nakaka-guilty yun. Especially for someone who manages the finances of our household.
I'm sure.
Nakaka-guilty yun if you're not prepared to spend a big amount. But for this one, we had a fund, we had savings, and we were happily able to enjoy our staycation, our spontaneous staycation guilt-free. I guess that we're just sharing that style that we do, which has helped us. And if it fits your lifestyle, then go ahead and try it out. Why not?
You know, I'm really happy that we went through a renting phase before actually buying a home, because I don't know what I would have liked back then in buying a house, and it might have been completely different from our needs right now.
You know, Bones, you're right. I remember I was talking to a sibling who was saying that he doesn't want to rent. So he was just starting out. This is like his first or second year of working. And he said he didn't want to rent kasi sayang daw yung pera niya. He wanted to invest right away. But the thing is, he didn't know what to invest in because he also didn't know what to look for. He didn't know what condo to get or where to put his money. So you're right. Renting has helped us a lot because it gave us a sense of what we wanted and what to look at when looking at places where we want to live.
And it reminds me of who I was when I was younger, because you do remember that I purchased a condo back when I was really young. I was advised na it's better to just buy rather to rent out. But I realized later on it wasn't a great investment because it wasn't something that I wanted to live in. It wasn't something that I thought I could sell later on.
And it wasn't a place that you liked.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah, later on, like after a year or two living there, I realized I don't like living here.
Yeah, the condo unit that Bonizi was advised to buy is just something that she didn't like. It didn't fit her taste. So now she realizes sayang yung pera niya because she has no motivation and no energy to take care of it and to manage the tenant who's there, etc., etc. So it's a tough situation for her, but it's also a learning experience.
Yeah, it's definitely a big learning experience for me. And to be honest, I wish that I didn't rush into that.
Yeah.
So that I could have saved money and eventually bought something that might have been a little bit pricier, but it's something that I actually liked.
Just to wrap up that last thought that Bonizi was saying, because we've been able to rent out, you've lived in how many places? 3 or 4 places since we've gotten together. I've lived in around 3 or 4 places as well. And we were all renting out. And now that we've decided to finally move to the province, when we checked out that house in the province, we knew exactly what we wanted, what we wanted to change, and what we did not like. So when we saw it, we were like, this will fit because we can turn this into our own house. So with that, we hope you learned something from our moving out experience. I'd like to talk about it when we're actually done with the whole process.
Once we actually have a proper podcasting area for our Behind Relationship Goals podcast in our new place, we'll give you guys a great update. And thank you so much for everybody that's been emailing us your comments, your suggestions at our email. That's behindrelationshipgoals@gmail.com. And I think we kind of need to go back into our moving fofo.
Yeah, so after this podcast recording, we're going to pick up all the garbage bags behind us and move into our condo and hopefully finish it sooner than later.
We'll see you guys next week. This is #Behind Relationship Goals. I'm Bones.
I'm Fofo.
See ya.
Bye.